Okay, what if I told you that a handful of tiny, one-minute habits could save you more than 25 hours a week? I know, it sounds crazy, and we're about to break down exactly how he says it's possible. I mean, seriously, could little tweaks really add up to an entire extra day every single week? It seems a bit too good to be true, right? Well, let's dig in and see for ourselves.
So the ideas we're talking about today come from, let's call it a personal obsession. He's basically made it his life's mission to find the absolute smallest changes that give you the biggest return on your time. And hey, we get to benefit from his obsession.
So here's our game plan for today. First, we're going to talk about starting with intention. Then, we'll dive into optimizing your digital world. After that, we'll look at how to design your lifestyle for efficiency, how to systemize everything to simplify your life, and finally, we'll get to the ultimate productivity secret.
All right, let's kick things off with part one, starting with intention. You know, how you start your day really does set the tone for everything that follows. It can be the difference between a successful, focused day and, well, a day of chaos.
So here's the super simple, three-step routine. First, when you sit down at your desk, you define your adventure for the day. That's right, adventure. What is the one big thing you need to get done? Calling it an adventure instead of a task actually tricks your brain into being more creative. Second, you immediately schedule it in your calendar, because let's be honest, if it's not in the calendar, it's probably not going to happen. And third, when it's time to start, you fire up a focus timer. Just seeing that clock ticking creates this kind of magical sense of urgency that keeps you laser focused. Okay, next up, optimizing your digital world. This is a big one for pretty much all of us. It's all about how to take back control from those constant dings, pings, and notifications that are just wrecking our focus.
And this brings us to a really important idea called attention residue. You know that feeling when you glance at a text message and then you can't quite get your head back into what you were doing? That's attention residue. It's like a part of your brain is still stuck on that last thing, and every single notification leaves some behind, making it so much harder to concentrate. It is a massive hidden time suck.
So how do we fight this? Well, with a few super simple one-minute habits. Just put your phone face down, better yet, put it in another room. Turn on Do Not Disturb and just leave it on all the time. You can set exceptions for real emergencies. Block all the distracting apps after 9 p.m. so you can wind down. And here's the big one, make your bedroom a no-phone zone. Seriously, these tiny changes will give you back so much focus.
But listen, it's not just your phone. I'm about to say something that might sound kind of weird. Your mouse is making you slow. Yeah, every single time you move your hand from the keyboard to that mouse, you're losing precious seconds.
And here's the fix. The real pros, they barely touch their mouse. They use keyboard shortcuts for almost everything. And even better, you can set up text expansion shortcuts. So you type a shortcode like flash email and boom, your full email address appears. A few seconds saved here and there really adds up to hours over a year.
All right, moving on to our third section, designing your lifestyle. Because here's the thing, productivity isn't just about what you do at your desk. It's about how you weave efficiency into your entire life.
Now, we've all been told that multitasking is the absolute worst. But that's not the whole story. The secret is something called multimodality multitasking. It's a fancy term for a simple idea, combining two activities that use different parts of your brain. Like, say, listening to something while doing something physical. It's actually incredibly efficient.
And here are some awesome ways to do this double dipping. You could listen to an audiobook on your commute, or a podcast while you're doing chores around the house. You could even take a Zoom call while you're out for a walk. You're getting two things done at the same time, without losing focus on either one.
Let's just put some numbers to that for a second. Hitting that 10,000 steps a day goal, that takes the average person about 100 minutes. That is a huge chunk of your day. But if you can do that while you're on your daily calls, you've just clawed back over an hour and a half. That is a total game changer.
Okay, on to our fourth principle, which is to systemize, to simplify. The whole point of this is to get all those nagging thoughts and to-dos out of your head and into a system you can trust. It's about reducing that mental clutter.
I absolutely love this line from the book Getting Things Done. It says, your brain is for having ideas, not holding them. Think about that. When you try to remember every little thing you have to do, you're just draining your mental battery. It's a surefire recipe for stress and, forgetting important stuff. So the solution is to build a capture habit. It's all about offloading that mental weight. The second, and I mean the second, a thought or a task pops into your head, you grab your phone and put it in a to-do list app. It takes maybe 5 seconds. And once it's captured, you can totally forget about it. Your mind is free to focus on what's right in front of you.
And this leads us to another amazing system, batching. Context switching, jumping from emails to a report, back to a different email, then a phone call, is just brutal on your brain. Batching is the exact opposite. You group all your similar tasks together. So instead of booking one restaurant for date night, you spend 15 minutes and book your date nights for the next 4 weeks all at once. It creates this awesome momentum and saves a ton of mental energy.
And now, we've arrived at our final section, the ultimate productivity secret. And trust me on this, it is almost certainly not what you think it is.
So after all the tips, the tricks, the systems, the hacks, this is the real secret. When you can find a way to actually enjoy what you're doing, everything changes. It's not about forcing yourself to do things you hate. It's about reframing the work so that it actually feels good. So there it is. The single biggest takeaway is this. Feeling good is the ultimate secret to productivity. When you can approach your day with a positive mindset, you don't just get more done. You're more creative, and you have way more energy left over for the rest of your life. Which, hey, brings us right back to where we started. So I want to leave you with this one simple question to think about. What is one task on your to-do list that you can reframe as an adventure today?